Welcome back to part 2 of our video tutorial of the first practice project using InDesign. The project file is already open where we left it in the first video, so let's continue. The next element to be added will be the stars that appear across our ad. To create these, we're going to use the polygon frame tool. So I'm going to scroll a little bit over to the left-hand side here. And if I grab the polygon tool and start to draw, it's going to draw just that. It's going to be some sort of multi-sided object, in this case a hexagon, which is not what we want in this case. We want a 5-pointed star. So I'm going to delete that and then go back to the polygon frame tool, and if you double click on it, it brings up a little polygon settings box where you can set the number of sides, and if you want to draw a star instead of a polygon, what the inset should be. So I'm going to change the number of sides to 5, and I'm just going to type over the value at the bottom and make it a 50% star inset, and then click OK. Now when I start to draw or drag, it's going to draw a star. And I'm going to hold the Shift key down to keep the sides in proportion, get a nice star here. And I'm going to draw my first one about a 1/2 inch. And then go ahead and fill it with our green swatch that we created. So there's our first star. Now, I need a total of 8 stars, and I could draw each one and fill them one at a time here. But I'm just going to use the first one, and then one way to duplicate it is to copy, edit, and then go right back and paste. And we'll drop a duplicate right in the middle of the screen. So there's the second one. There's a faster way if you want to duplicate objects over and over again, which is what we want. We want a total of 8 stars out here. So I'm going to click on the second one. I'm going to hold the Option key down because I'm on a Mac. If you're on a Windows machine, you can hold the Alt key down. And you'll notice how the cursor changes there. When you drag, you immediately get a duplicate. So I'm just going to drag several times here and end up with my 8 stars. All right, the stars are going to be different as we put them within our ad. I want them to be slightly different color. They're going to be different sizes here and different shades. So the first thing I'm going to do is resize these. I'm going to make them all a little bit smaller, different sizes here. I'm holding the Shift key down to keep them in proportion, and I'm just making them different sizes from the corner with the selection tool. So I'll make them all a little bit smaller. Make that one a little bit smaller yet. And then I'm going to change the angle. There's a rotation angle up here at the top, so I'm going to change each one. And you can use the preset angles, or you can click on the up and down triangles to change the angle, or you can type in your own angles. So I'm going to make each one of these a little bit different. And then my last one, we'll do 45 degrees. Good. All right, so each one is a little bit different there, a little bit different size, and a little bit different angle. The final thing I'm going to do is change the tint of each one. Right now, I've got the same color as the original, but I can change not the fill color, but the tint of that color on any of the objects that we have out there. And again, I can use the slider in the swatch palette or panel. Or I can just type a number. So if I want 72%, there it is. So let me do that to each one of these. Good. And then let's move them into position. Again, with the selection tool, I'm going to grab each one. Start off with my original one. I'm purposely leaving it a little bit off the edge of the page there. Bring my second one. I'm going to put it right about here. And I want you to notice that that star now appears on top of the jacket. I'm going to come back to that in a few minutes. Put another one over here, and I'll just drag these into position around the ad. finish with my last one. All right, good. Now you'll notice that this star appears on top of the jacket, and that's because it came in afterwards. What I can now do, because I want the jacket to be on top of the star, an obscure part of it, is click on the object, in this case the jacket, go to the object menu, go to Arrange, and I want to bring that to the front. And then it appears on top of any objects that happen to fall below it, which in this case is just that star. Okay, well, I've got this selected. I notice in the output that I want a special effect on this. So I'm going to go to my Effect panel, and I'm going to double click where it says Object Normal, and then I can make my choices from the options on the left-hand side here. And I want an outer glow, and you can see it pop up there immediately, and then click OK. All right, the final part of this ad are going to be the 3 swatches that appear in the bottom left-hand corner. And I've got these out there. We're going to give the place command, and here's swatch 1, 2, and 3. And bring in swatch number 1. Now, when it comes in, just like the jacket, it comes in the wrong size. So the first thing I'm going to do is resize each one of these as I bring them in. And I'm going to do it by just typing over the values here. I want these to be perfect squares, so I'm going to make them 3/8 of an inch, 0.375. So I'm going to type in those values, and you'll see the box resizing, the frame resizing as I do that. And just like with the jacket, the pattern within that gets cropped off. So just like I did with the jacket, I want to go, when I have the frame the right size, go to the Object menu, go to Fitting, and Fit Content to Frame. And then the full pattern appears within that new frame. I'm going to do the same thing with the other two. I'm going to give the Place command, and you can bring in more than one object at the same time when you place. You just hold the Shift key down and select as many as you want. And I'm going to bring in 2 and 3. Click on Open. There's the green one. There's the yellow one. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Resize these. Oops. And then force the pattern to fit within that new frame. 75.375. There we go. All right, let's get them lined up. I'm going to put the green one next to the red one, the yellow next to that. Get them approximately where I want them. And then I'm going to grab all 3 and move them into position on the ad. And that's basically what I want. All right, if you're looking at the output, you can notice that I've got a special effect on these 3 swatches here. Move my yellow one over a little bit. I'm going to select all 3 because you can apply an effect at the same time. And my effects palette is still open here. I'm going to double click where it says Object Normal, and that brings up my effects options. And I want to drop shadow with this one. And then click OK. Unselect, and there is our ad. Right. I can always play with some of the options. I can change some of the effects that are out there. I can manipulate all the different objects that I have, but basically that is it. I would at this point go ahead and save the file. And our final step is go up to View, go to Screen Mode, and I'm usually working, and you will usually be working in normal view, but I want to just see what this is going to look like if I print it out. So I'm going to go to Preview, and there's our ad.